unified conscious collaboration, aligned, unified, motivated, sustained conscious collaboration, that we do see the whole circle all at the same time. We see the person who drops the diapers on the beach, we see the person who picks them up, and we see every step in between, all at the same time. And then we look at that whole process, that whole cycle, then it becomes modifiable. If we look at any part of it and react to any part of it, we're only reacting. It doesn't solve anything. We may have less diapers on the beach if there's lots of people that go out and pick them up. We may have less diapers on the beach if we educate people not to put their diapers on the beach. That's not necessarily going to keep diapers from ever ending up on the beach, and it's not going to mean that people aren't going to need to go out and pick them up. And until and unless we choose to change the entire process, the discipline of thoroughness, the discipline of completeness, the discipline of unified wholeness, and that requires being willing to see beyond personal self-interest and self and imagined, projected onto, or resented other. And that's a choice that we can all make. And then this whole cycle and the stresses associated with it simply go away. And if we can let them go and not and say, we've got the new process, we've got the new model, we've got the solution generation, we've got the diapers that don't ever need to end up on the beach for whatever reason, by whatever process, so no one ever needs to pick them up. If we do that, there's still another hurdle that we might need to get past, and that is looking back at the history of the pain of having dropped the diapers and feeling guilty or ashamed for having done so, and looking back at the judgment of the person that dropped the diapers and the resentment for having to go pick them up. So letting go of all the history that occurred up until that moment of recognized unity and wholeness and oneness with its true solution, and just enjoying it, just abiding in it as case solved, problem gone. Life is now joyfully experienced. The duality is resolved. The illusion of duality is resolved. The illusion of disunity is resolved.
There's something about the duality concept that has a very narrow focus. So when you're talking about that full cycle of holding all the polluter and the cleaner kind of thing, is also like the assumptions that go with it, that the person leaving the diaper knows that the diaper is not biodegradable. And of course, it seems obvious, like we assume the people polluting like know better and they just don't care. And I'm not saying that may not be the case. And we don't know that that's the case, that there's dynamics of education and awareness and understanding and meeting people where they're at. So from a positionality and an orientation that would just say, oh my gosh, like how frustrating that someone left their diaper, they're bad people. We don't know who they are. And meeting them, you know, as a soul that has, who knows what their situation was. Maybe they grabbed all their stuff and ran and the diaper fell out of their bag and they didn't know, you know. And of course, I'm not trying to make excuses for polluters because it's a clearly endemic issue. I'm just saying there's more to every single situation than just a black and white scenario that we might operate from in that moment. And so when we hold space for that broader cycle, holding all of that too, that like, it's not about bad people. It's like the whole system of misinformation and evolution of product development and the keyhole focus that created the plastic bottle in the first place is, you know, can be that same focus of cleaning it up. And so just kind of widening the view all around, I think, is an important part of the process.
What would it take to create that cohesive, consistent, constantly evolving and I'm paraphrasing your question, that constantly evolving and transformational process that would generate a sustainable life process for humanity? How could we all work together consistently in a sustained way, in standardized and ever developing ways? We are in the process we're developing right now, WSS, conscious collaboration, culture, etc. Also, the social movement engine as a large enough powerful enough, capable enough platform to allow this collaborative conversation to occur on a continual basis with any stakeholders, nations, governments, social groups, cultures, political parties, scientists, universities, so that not only there is a model for conscious collaboration that we define originally and then just keep evolving and refining forever, we have a venue for the conversation. We have a place to meet. We have support information, any and every necessary bit of information or technology necessary to support this sustained, evolving conversation so that this new philosophy of life, the harmonious, healthy, beneficial, constructive, collaborative mode of life becomes possible and has a way to keep itself going. It becomes self-sustaining. It becomes perpetual and constantly evolving into ever more healthy new future possibilities. And then hopefully that we will generate that world and that situation where a diaper found on the beach might, instead of leading to, oh, look, somebody's polluted or somebody must have done something wrong, or I wonder why they would have been so inconsiderate as to dump this diaper on the beach, to how do we need to shift our process? How do we need to evolve our process so that even this once in 10 years result doesn't occur? Or is there some need that has not been fulfilled that this diaper on the beach is a symptom of, and we can now be aware of it and we can now blend it into the collaborative process and we can now help whoever it was so that they don't feel it necessary for whatever reason to dump diapers on the beach? What if we were to make the process that each of the groups worked on some facet of how do we bring together all the constituencies we just spoke of into a sustained, aligned conversation so that we can help the people who make plastic bottles switch to something else. We can engage the scientists who can develop those new technologies more constructively. We can fund the process. We can clean up the beaches. We can clean up the ocean. We can cease making the bottles in the first place or diminish the number of bottles we make. We can sustain this through a system of governance and navigation, mutual navigation of all these different constituencies. If we made that our next workshop and we involved people who are very capable, knowledgeable people in actually roughing in that model. Well, by the way, we never thought of it before, and I know this guy, or I know this lady, or I know this company, I have this network of people, I have these people who want to fix this. They just haven't figured a way how to. They haven't had a path nor a way to build the path to get to this solution. So let's all build a path together.